Hey friends, my name is Bilal Khan and today I am going to make an application, and the application is RDS. So what is RDS? So basically it's a relational database service, and that is the part of the AWS in which multiple databases are present like MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, etc. So from these databases I am going to make an application, and I am going to use the MySQL database in this RDS, and I will be making a whole application in Go language by adding the data and getting the data from the RDS. So yeah, this is how the whole process will be, and I will show you the step-by-step process of it. So the first thing that I'm going to do, as you can see here, that I'm present in the AWS management console. So inside it I will write RDS. So this is the relational database service that I'm going to click here. Alright, so it will take me some time to open it. So let's wait for this. So now you can see here that this is the page of it that is appeared here. So let's scroll down, and this is the create database function that I'm going to click. And now what I will do, I will create a database, and I will show you how you can create it. So first of all, this is a standard create that I will keep as it is, and let's click on the MySQL, and after that let's scroll down and click on the free tier, because I'm going to use it for the testing purpose, not for the production purpose. And the next thing that I'm going to do is to name the database, like it could be any name that you want to, but I will name it like MySQL data DB. Alright, so MySQL DB. Well, and this name could be admin, or you can give it another name like master. Alright, so I'm going to give it a master name. And once it is done, I will give the password, like it could be any password up to 8 characters. So I will give the password like what you can say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Similarly, this is the repeat password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Alright, so you can give it any password if you want to. It will be helpful for the authentication, and that you will give it in the connecting the database to it. Alright, so with the help of this password also. So after that, let's scroll down, and here is one thing that let's give it a public access. And after that, the VPC group will be by default. Alright, so I'm not going to create another VPC group. And after that, this is the password authentication. And if I scroll up, you will see one thing is missing, and that is the availability zone. So I will click on this app south A1 1A. This is the nearest zone to me, and yeah, this is how it will work. And other details I'm not going to modify them. So let's scroll up and see if there is another change that I can make. So yeah, there is nothing to be present so that I can change. Yeah, so this is the important point that you need to keep in mind, because I'm going to use them in the link. And yep, so let's scroll down and create the database now. All right. So now you can see that this is giving me the error here that check the password, because it is not that much hard password. So I will keep as it is, because I'm not going to use it for the production purpose. So yeah. So let's wait for this, because it will take some time for me to create the database. So what I will do here, I will go to the Visual Studio Code in order to write the code, and once this is created, I will use the details of this MySQL database after that. Alright, so now you can see here that I'm currently present in the Visual Studio Code, and this is the main.go file. So I will make an application in the Go file. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to write package main, and after that variable db SQL DB. So this is for the connection purpose into the MySQL database. This is the global variable, and after that type entry struct, and inside this I will write a name string JSON like this, and that would be the name. So basically the name would be stored in the JSON format. And once it is done, I will create a function by the name of what you can say add entry. So it will add the entry or add the data, the name that I will give into the database. So let's write the HTTP response writer and HTTP request. After that, let's write what you can say if our method is equal to HTTP method post and after that let's write what you can say error, sorry, variable is going to be E, that will be from the entry. So this is the entry struct. Inside this is the name variable. So I will fetch the name variable from this struct with the help of this E variable. All right. So let's write what you can say error is equal to JSON new decoder. Let's write error. Sorry. Like this. A new decoder. And let's write HTTP status bad request. Let's see whether it contains any kind of error or not. Let me just check and I will get back to you. Sorry, I missed something, and I instead of writing here the error message, because I mixed the error message inside the decoder, so it would be like this. What you can say, E, all right, ampersand E, like this. And now let's write the error message like if error is not equal to nil, then HTTP status, sorry, error. W error like this, and now the HTTP status bad request. So the bad request, these things will be written here in the error message. I have put it here, sorry about that. And what it does basically, it will take the name and after taking the name in the JSON format, and it will decode it from the JSON format to the normal text. Once the normal text is appeared, it will give that to me. But let's say if there is an error, then it will give me that error that hey, this JSON format is not converted, the text is not converted into the JSON format, so it will give me that kind of error. But the next thing is going to be like errors is equal to like what you can say JSON DB execute, and inside this I will write insert name, insert into entries. This time it could be name, it will be name, and values would be question mark, like this. All right, so basically what it does is that name DB execute. I need to keep this like instead of writing this, I will remove this. So yeah, basically what it does, it will insert the data inside this entries table that I will be creating after that, and this is the name that the user will insert, and the value is this name. All right, so let's write the error like HTTP error. Inside it I will write errors like, and then HTTP status internal server error, and then return that. Similarly I will write the return statement here also. So basically it will insert the data. Once the data from the JSON format is decoded, then it will insert that data, decoded data or the name, to the database. Once the name is inserted into the database, what it will do, it will write header HTTP status OK. It will give the status OK message, and it will again encode the data back to the JSON format like this. E. Alright, so it will again encode the data into the JSON format. Now the next function that I'm going to make is the entries. So get entries, a response writer, and the request, and the next thing is going to be like what you can say the rows error, and that would be Now I will write db query, and I will write a query that select select name from entries. Select name from entries. So the from should be capital like this. So yeah. So it will select the name or the names. If there are multiple names, it will select those names from the entries table and it will give that to me. So I will write the error message here first of all, like what you can say, HTTP error and W error like this, HTTP status internal server error, and return this. And after that, let's write defer rows close, and then this is done. So what it does, basically it will fetch the data from the database, and if all these functionalities are done successfully, then it will close this. Otherwise it will give me this error that hey, it is not fetching the data. Let's write a loop here. First of all, I will create a variable like entries, and all the data of the entries or all the data that will be present in the MySQL database will be stored inside this entry list. And after that, let's write a for loop. The for loop is going to be what you can say, get all the data one by one from the database. All right, so this is the purpose of for loop. And let's write the variable e entry, the variable should be like this. Let's write what you can say, errors is equal to rows scan. It will scan the data like e name like this. Alright, so it will scan that data e name, and then it will give that to me. Let's write the error message. Let's say if the error is occurred, then I will write error, what you can say, w error HTTP status internal server error. Return this. So yeah. So what it does, it will use the for loop in order to scan all the names from the database, and it will give those to me. Otherwise, it will give the error. After that, if the names are given to me, then those names will be appended. Let's write entries. Then those names will be appended inside the E. Alright, so this is how it will work. First of all the names that will be fetched from the database will be appended into this entries variable, and then what I will do, I will write what you can say, w write header and HTTPS status OK, and the next thing is to again encode them into the JSON format like this. Entries. All the data will be again encoded into the JSON format. So yeah, now I need to call these two functions. So in order to call these functions, I will write function main. Let's give it the first of all variable error. So this is the variable that I have declared, and let's write db error is equal to let's write what you can say, SQL open insert, I will write MySQL. So this is MySQL. This is going for the MySQL database that I'm going to open, and the next thing is to write the username. After that, the colon password, and then the protocol that I'm going to use, it is going to be a TCP. And inside this I will give the endpoint, that is the RDS endpoint like this, or the URL, and then the MySQL database, or any kind of database name that you want to write. Alright, so let's write error is not equal to nil, then what you can say, panic error, and the next thing is going to be write the HTTP handle func. So it will call the error like this, add entry, and HTTP handle func entries like this. add entries or get entries, sorry, and then I will write HTTP listen and serve what you can say port 8080, and then so yeah, this is how it will work. So now what I will do, I will first of all give these values that I have written it here just for the testing purpose. So yeah, after giving the values, I will execute the code. Let's go to the Chrome browser, and inside it you can see that I've successfully created the MySQL DB. So let's close this and open the MySQL DB here. And now you can see that these are the details of it that are shown to me. So this is the endpoint that I'm going to copy from here, and this is the place that I'm going to pasting it here. And my database name is MySQL DB. All right, so MySQL DB that I have shown you when I was creating it. All right, this is MySQL DB, that is the database name, and the password was from 1 to 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. All right, so you may be aware of this. And the username is master. Remember that I have shown you that you can give the admin or you can give the master also. So I have given the master. So yeah, this is how it will work. So now everything is fine. Let me just check it. MySQL DB. So yeah, let's execute this code and check whether it contains any kind of error or not. Currently I'm not seeing any kind of error. So yeah, open the terminal, save this, and after opening the terminal, so I have written some data inside this text editor. So you can see here. So the first thing was the database name and all these things that I have put already. But the second thing is this one. I need to write a script inside this. I need to write this command inside the local, what you can say, terminal in order to execute the RDS. Because I cannot execute the RDS database without executing this command. Normally what you do, you write MySQL and then U and then root and then P, but this is for the local machine. But if you want to access the what you can say RDS database from your local machine, then you can put this command. All right, so I will copy this and I will paste it down here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is the username, change the username like master, and the endpoint is this one that I have written it here. So let's write like endpoint, this one. Right. So let's write it, but first of all let's remove this MySQL database. So yeah, this is the endpoint and this is the what you can say master username. So let's press enter on this. Now it is asking me for the password that was given, that I have given in the RDS, in the RDS. All right, so this is not a local machine password. It is asking the password of the RDS that I have given it, like 1 2 3 4 from 1 to 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is the RDS password. So yeah, it will now help me to execute the MySQL into the local machine from the RDS. All right, so it will take me some time. So let's wait for this. Let's take a look at this with why it is taking some time. Maybe I have internet problem. So finally the problem is solved, and basically I don't know, maybe the internet problem was occurring, and what I did is that I deleted the previous database that I created by the name of MySQL DB, and I had another database by the name of MySQL database. So I put the credentials here inside the file, but I'm not going to show those credentials because they are secret. But the thing is that the process was the same. I don't know what was the problem in that process, although I put all the credentials correctly, but there was still an error. But finally it is working fine, and the code is still available. I will upload that code in the GitHub. You can check them out. So now the thing that I'm going to show you is that, as I have shown you that this was the code, I need to simply copy this code and paste it here. Now instead of writing master, I have named it admin. All right, so this is the thing, but the master is still working, so it is no problem. But the problem was that in the database or maybe in the creation of it. So yeah, but it is still fine working. So let's save, copy this and paste it down here like this. All right, so let's press enter on this. Let's give it a password. So this time it is not 1234, instead there is another password. So now you can see that this database is opened from the cloud, from the AWS RDS. It is not opening from the local machine. So if I show you the databases, you will see that there is no data, there is database by the name of MySQL database. So if I let's say if this is your first time, then that database will not be present. So you need to delete this. Let me just delete it and delete database, MySQL database like this, and now drop database, MySQL database. So you have an error in your SQL syntax. Drop database, MySQL database. So I don't know why it is giving me this kind of error. Let me just show the database again. So this is the database name. Let's write drop, delete. Instead of writing drop, I need to write delete database, MySQL database like this. I don't know why it is giving me this kind of error. Maybe it should be written like this, because I'm working from the cloud, so it will be like this. Now this is fine, because due to this thing you need to put this thing in order to delete the database. This will not work. This sign will not work in the local machine, but this is the sign for the cloud. So yeah, this is the point that I have forgotten. Now what I will do, I will create another database by the name of what you can say MySQL database, just in order to show you. Create database, and this time it will be this sign. Inside this I will write MySQL database, and now this database is created, but there is another point that I also need to that is create a table. So let's create a table. So let's copy this and paste it down here. So now as you can see here, that there are two things. The first one is the ID, the second one is the name, that I'm going to create a table, and that table will be present inside this MySQL database. But first of all, let me just close this and execute it again. I forgot one thing, and that is what you can say. Let me just show it to you. Now you can see that there is a table, that database already present, but I need to get into that database. So in order to get into that database, I will write MySQL database like this. Now after getting into that database, I can copy that code or that command that I have copied, that I will paste this. All right, so let's press enter on this. Now you can see that there is a table that is present. So if I show the tables, you will see that there is one table that is present inside this MySQL database, and that is by the name of entries. Now this code will work correctly. All right, so let me just show you the code. I will not show you the code, but instead I will execute it like this. Let's write to go run main.go. Now this time it is running. Let's go to the text editor and simply copy this command, because it is going to add the data into the MySQL database. Let's open another terminal and paste the data. This time I will write what you can say Bilal. Alright, so if I press enter on this, you will see that the data is now added into the MySQL database. Let me just show you. Select from MySQL entries, because the entries is the tables. Let's write entries. As you can see, the Bilal is present. Similarly, if I go again to the script, and this time if I write what you can say John, you will see that the John is inserted. Let's go to the MySQL database again. you will see that John is inserted successfully. All the things are happening on the in the cloud, but I'm accessing it in the local machine by using this command. As you can see, this is the command that with the help of this command I'm accessing it. So let's say if I want to get the entries in the local machine, how can I access this? So let's paste this command, curl http localhost like entries. So now you can see there are two entries, Bilal and John, that is present inside the RDS. So now this is how it will work. So I hope you understood. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is to first of all close, what you can say, stop this temporarily, and after stopping it, let's do this like this. Stop temporarily, and the next thing that I'm going to do, you can delete this also after stopping it, you can see here, but I'm not going to delete it. And the next thing that I'm going to do is to push it into the GitHub, but before pushing it I need to make some modifications in the file. Let me just make the modifications and I will get back to you. So these are the modifications that I have done. Instead of showing you the username, everything of the new database, I have removed them and just wrote like this. So now you can apply those things and the code will work fine. So let's write git add git commit created the MySQL application in RDS, AWS RDS like this. Alright, and git push origin main like this. So now if I go to the browser here, GitHub, you can see that the main.go file is now currently pushed, and this is the whole data of it. Alright, so yeah, this is working fine. So I hope you understood and liked this video. So if you liked it, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, then ask those questions in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. So till then, goodbye.